The superhero teams that are assembled within the Marvel world are truly something else. In addition to amazing partnerships, some outstanding heroes and villains are also frequently joined together and manage to work their magic, whether it's romantic, a hero-villain connection, or just a healthy, productive friendship. So here's how Doctor Strange made Wolverine the ultimate demon killer, along with some of the best and most iconic superhero duos. First up, Doctor Strange has officially made Wolverine the ultimate demon killer. Did you know that Wolverine was transformed into Marvel's ultimate demon-killing machine by Doctor Strange himself? A demon-possessed Wolverine attempts to assassinate Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme number 41, published in 1992. When the going becomes tough, Strange uses a wonderful magical device to sharpen Wolverine's killing impulses, unleashing a vicious demon-killing machine on the Marvel Universe, after liberating Wolverine from the clutches of the demons. Now, although it might seem like an odd pairing, Doctor Strange and Wolverine work well together in this story, with Strange ultimately assisting Wolverine in discovering something deep inside himself that gives him the advantage over the Undying Ones. The Undying Ones fall short of their reputation in the face of Wolverine's onslaught, thanks in part to Doctor Strange, and help with the Shard of Gaea, who produces a new Wolverine who rips through them. After Wolverine's overwhelming and fierce ferocity, only a small number are left, and they beg the mutant for their life. By taking control of Wolverine, the Undying Ones commit a grave error. Even though Wolverine doesn't have a reputation for eliminating demons, he does it in this instance. A previously mentioned Wolverine is known for being a tough fighter, and because of Doctor Strange's abilities, he may have achieved his full potential. Wolverine became Marvel's most effective demon-slaying tool after Doctor Strange brought out the murder in him. Speaking of, let's talk about some of the best Marvel superhero duos. Since the Marvel Cinematic Universe's enormous cast of characters first came together in 2008, numerous distinct team-ups have existed. Although the audience is familiar with the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy as vast groups of heroes who defend the globe, there are smaller partnerships with excellent chemistry who can defeat entire armies of enemies on their own. The MCU features several antagonists and particularly entertaining hero pairs, but they are all superheroes. Although some of them would prefer to work alone and others might always want to be the team leader, they actually function best in groups. First up in no particular order, Thor and Valkyrie. In Thor Ragnarok, Valkyrie was more of a hesitant teammate for Thor, while Thor saw Valkyrie more as a fabled hero from his youth. However, during the film, the two developed an intense bond. Thor feels confident in Valkyrie to command New Asgard without him. He also knows she will have his back in a fight. Together, they are a formidable team. Thor Love and Thunder features Jane Foster's Mighty Thor and the classic Thor. Jane and Valkyrie quickly become friends after Jane masters the Mjolnir power. Valkyrie is one of Jane's strongest allies in combat, and the two don't mind trading blows or belly laughs. Valkyrie is fantastic. Next up, Spider-Man and Deadpool. Despite never claiming to be a team player, Spider-Man frequently teams up with various Marvel heroes. The most frequent ties are with him and the Human Torch, as well as with Daredevil and Wolverine. His most common pairing in recent times has been with Deadpool. They balance each other out overall. Wade possesses swords, firearms, and the capacity not to perish, where Peter possesses power, agility, and the never-die outlook. Additionally, Spidey may rest his vocal cords since the merc with a mouth prevents him from speaking clearly when they team up. A tandem in the buddy cop vein with Spider-Man as the straight man must be discussed. Also, the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hope Van Dyne starts out without a superhero costume. Even though she can don the Ant-Man suit herself, Scott Lang ends up being trained to do so, making her more of his mentor than she would like to be. But by the time of the events in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the two had largely resolved their issues. Hope becomes the Wasp's hero, while Scott gains more teamwork skills. Since Hope's suit has wings and Scott's does not, the two of them recognize that they both have unique fighting strengths and learn to utilize those against their foes. Next up, Iron Man and War Machine. It helps that James Rhodes and Tony Stark are great pals in real life. War Machine's armor is patterned on Iron Man's, allowing the two of them to understand how each functions in a battle setting. Their abilities as a team are best displayed in Iron Man 2, one of the MCU's less popular Phase 1 movies. Although War Machine's armor isn't yet up to Iron Man's standards, they manage to fight alongside each other and save the day for the first time in the film, amusing the audience and showcasing how well they know each other's movements. Another great duo, Captain America and Winter Soldier. These heroes were merely two young men who wanted to join the military before acquiring code names and superhuman abilities. They have faith in both one another and a cause. Due to several trials, Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes underwent similar training to become soldiers. As a result, they have not only comparable skill levels, but also comparable strength levels. Since they have known each other since they were young buddies, they can match each other's skill levels by anticipating what the other will do in a fight. When they face Iron Man in one of the best MCU battles, they demonstrate just how brilliantly well they can fight together in Captain America's Civil War. Next up, the iconic Rocket and Groot. Many fans need to be made aware of a more contemporary pair that was only included in the core Guardians of the Galaxy team in Marvel Comics around 2008, the year the team's current iteration was initially founded. Even though Rocket has been present since the middle of the 1970s and Groot was formed in 1960, these characters were previously unrelated to one another. The pair swiftly gained popularity together, and in 2016, they were given their own spin-off series, as the muscle for the smaller Rocket, who serves as the pair's loudmouth and makes them a typical buddy comedy duo. Groot is content in his role as the muscle. In the MCU Guardians of the Galaxy movies, its unrelated animated series, and in comics where they've appeared, they are amusing and adored. Yet another epic duo, Vision and Scarlet Witch. A relationship between the Vision and Scarlet Witch wasn't anticipated when he was first presented in the late 1960s. An advanced android with human emotions is called Vision. Wanda, however, put a lot of effort into erasing the stigma associated with her status as Magneto's daughter. Nevertheless, these two grew close and formed a potent team that lasted well into the 1990s. Despite no longer being connected in the comics, the two are nonetheless united in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This award highlights the lasting impact of their collaborations over the years. Luke Cage and Danny Rand are also a great superhero duo that cannot be overlooked. Since their debut in the 1970s, Luke Cage and Danny Rand have been one of Marvel Comics' strange couples. Luke, formerly known as Power Man, was the most aggressive of the two. Danny also smacked people together, but more lightly. Luke has relaxed a little bit since he became a father. Whether he works with the Avengers or on his own, he is still a superhero to be taken seriously. However, when he and Danny get together, they share the jabs and thrashings equally. Next up, Kate Bishop and Clint. Kate Bishop technically doesn't have the same superhero codename in the MCU as she has in the comics, but she's definitely headed in that direction. Although she is still young, Kate and Clint's relationship in the Hawkeye series clearly demonstrates that she is almost as good as he is. There is something to be said about the teacher-student dynamic between the Archers. Even though most of the best superhero pairings in the MCU place both characters equally, despite her admiration for Clint, Kate is initially resistant to hearing criticism. She learns to accept that his experience can educate her as he comes to recognize that she is genuinely skilled. By the season's end, their working relationship is enjoyable to observe. Thor and Hulk are, of course, a power duo like none other. The MCU audience certainly didn't believe these two would make an excellent pairing before Thor Ragnarok. That was a mistake. Thor, who always seen himself as the strongest Avenger, and Hulk, who has stated that he feels underappreciated by the Avengers, have a brilliantly humorous rivalry. One example of how much fun the two can have is watching them combat in the arena. It's even better for the audience when the Hulk stops appearing to aid Thor and instead lets Bruce Banner lead the show. Thor must put a lot of effort into winning over the Hulk once more, as the latter pouts and Banner simply looks perplexed. Next up, Black Panther and Okoye. Okoye's lack of codename or unique gear has led some MCU fans to question whether she qualifies as a superhero, but in Endgame, Natasha manages to hold her own in the conflict in Wakanda. She ends up serving as an advisor to the remaining Avengers, suggesting that, if not a genuine Avenger, at least an honorary one. She is. She must defend the Wakandan royal family as a member of the Dora Milaje, but it's evident from their easy camaraderie that they also defend T'Challa. Black Panther makes it clear, though, through their interactions and fight scenes, that they can always save their country if they band together. Last but not least, Black Widow and Hawkeye. There is no doubting the unique chemistry between Black Widow and Hawkeye. Since their very first on-screen encounters in the MCU, they have had implicit faith in one another. That results from a lengthy history of collaboration that is alluded to but not entirely seen by the spectator. They can anticipate one another's field movements because of their simple shorthand, even though he uses arrows and she uses bullets. Their various approaches seem to work well together. The viewer is undoubtedly happy that Clint Barton made that different call, because they would never have joined forces with S.H.I.E.L.D. and eventually the Avengers without his decision to take a chance on a spy. Unfortunately, guys, that is all the time we had for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.